Hello and welcome to my Elite Dangerous My Adventures Permit Systems. We're at Wolfsegen 8 and we're going to Wolfsegen 9. Assist left. You zoom out and it goes faster. Says unexplored, so we're going to go over there. Doesn't show anything. Assist landing.
Landing gear retracted.
And while we're waiting for the mask lock to go off, just scroll down to the right. You'll see the subscribe button. And that's what I need the most from you is subscriptions. Doesn't cost you anything, but sure helps me.
Frameshift drive charging.
And below the video to the left, you'll see my YouTube channel. GFM_RDG. I have over 300 videos as of this publishing of all kinds of things. And some might wonder why I do so many just landing on planets and things like that. Well, that's how you find some really interesting things, like in Wolfsegen 1, where we found a crash site and 6 occupied escape pods. We wouldn't have found that if we weren't just roaming the planet looking for what we can find. So as far as I know, that wasn't listed anywhere. We got 4,500 light seconds to go. Sure the recording was all well, and it is. Nothing worse than going through the whole ordeal and you weren't recording. So I tried to check that just to make sure. I always use the Discovery scanner. Now you can't collect, and as you've seen when we've gone to the Universal Cartographic, there's 2 that we haven't been able to collect yet because we haven't gotten over the 20 light years away from where we scanned. This is the last planet. After we finish roaming the planet, we will go back to the station because we have 2 occupied escape pods on board. Sis right there. And we're going to turn those in as soon as we finish this planet. And then we're going to go back to Orna 8. That's where we had the situation where the planet's moving as we're trying to land. And most on the forums believe it's a bug. It doesn't supposed to be like that. But you should check that video out. That's pretty wild. Going at 300 kilometers a second, or 300 kilometers an hour, something like that. It's 300, that's all it says on the, where it says 55C right now, it just says 300. And I was boosting and all this, and I couldn't keep up with it. It was moving faster than I could try to catch it. So you should check that out. I am going to go back out there after we turn these occupied escape pods in and try to get away from the rings. Some think it might be the rings that are causing that issue. So I'll try to land away from the rings and see what happens. That'll be my 3rd video out there, so you should check that one out. Lots of drama in that video. And everybody loves drama. That's why they used to call TV shows dramas. That's what people want to see. I got plenty of non-dramas too, but out of the 300 I do have plenty of dramas. And the trespass zones are dramas. We just don't go in it and start shooting and them start shooting at us, and we don't do that because I'm an explorer trader, not a combat pilot. And our sensor is scanning the planet since we're close. And it should say Wolfsegen 9. Yep, it does. And the sun is to the right side. So that's the side we'll be trying to land on. It doesn't help much. We still have to have night vision because it's so far out away from the star. I mean, from up here it starts to look on the right side that there's plenty of light, but then there's not when we get on the planet. But if you would subscribe to my channel, that's what I need the most. That's why I keep asking. And that dark blue ring that you see right there says what that means we can land there. Probably where that pinkish area is. As you can see on our sensor, the sun is at the top. So we'll go down about right in there, where we have a mixture of colors. It's where I usually like to land, where there's a mixture.
Orbital flight engaged.
And what I've noticed, most of the time that's glacier ice that's mixed with materials that it digs up as it's moving. That's my guess. Kind of straighten up my on-screen gauge. And we'll see where we come down. Now we're getting to 27 kilometers and hadn't kicked out of Super Cruise. There it goes. We get into a glide. And that's been coming down around 5 kilometers, which is fine. I mean, right before I start to want to pull up is when it comes out. It's coming out at about 4, which is fine. And we'll do our scan around to see the planet. And that's the main thing, is a video reference of each of the planets that you get to see. It's this view. Just making sure my headset's lined up correctly. Is this landing? And the landing gear does slow us down, so we usually speed up. And I had mentioned on some past videos I was looking at Star Citizen, but everything I do is in the VR. I like the VR experience. And the workarounds are not really that good. They're not true 3D. So I like being immersed in it. So it'll probably be No Man's Sky might be the next first look. I haven't played it, but probably start doing some first look videos. And they keep adding content, so that's a good thing. Makers of it, so very impressed by that. And it's very interesting. It's kind of cartoonish, but it's very interesting. Lots of things to do. It's this alternate. Well, you should check out my Ultimate Fishing Simulator too. That's even more reality, or seems to be reality. It's just fishing. You don't have fish trying to shoot you and launching missiles and trying to interdict you and all that stuff. You don't have those situations. Which I wish that Elite Dangerous was a little bit more on the realistic side instead of on the player shooter side. Yeah, the nose seems to want to keep rising as we go down. Okay, is this down? That one only has 29%, this one has 55%, and this is our last planet of the system before we hit the station. Which then they fill up our ships. Every time we board an SRB, it tops off the integrity, so it does the maintenance, but it doesn't refuel. Is this full? Sis, ship.
Ship dismissed.
And some might wonder why I dismissed the ship. Well, at about 7.5 kilometers that you get away from the ship, it'll go ahead and go into orbit anyway. So, might as well. I don't have to worry about it or fuss with it or any of those things. Okay, well, thank you for coming over to Wolfsegen 9. This is the last of the planets in Wolfsegen. So I appreciate you coming along and through the travel and the landing. In our next video, we'll run around the planet and see if there's anything interesting here and continue to fill up our materials at the same time. So again, look bottom to the right. Please subscribe. I need that more than anything. It doesn't cost you, but it sure helps me. And that's what I need the most. And below the video to the left is my YouTube channel, GFM_RDG. I've got over 300 videos currently, and if we add in No Man's Sky, and since we have Ultimate Fishing Simulator, it'll just continue to add content that you can enjoy. And this is all on a Oculus Rift S is what I'm using. You can use the display, and you can use other VRs too on most of these games. So I appreciate you coming along, and until next time, thank you for watching.